the midnight sky. Live don't quiet at night. Wanna get out, but nobody's around. Lost and it can't be found. Trying to get from around these crawlers. Treading through this muddy waters. Late at night, yell out, or I'ma get caught. And I ain't coming back alive. And who would want to do this to me? Crawling around, but I can't see. Trying to figure out how this all went down. Lord, tell me what's happening to me. Feeling like I'm burning inside. Drawing in all these lights. A voice that prepared was all in my head. Somebody come rescue me. Heart gazing, I'm levitating in the sky. And I can't dream of the really me looking through my third eye. I'm petrified, I wanna testify, better not show my face. Cause when I do, they're gonna come for you and take you out into space. So oblivious to me when I was around 5 or maybe 4 years old. My body went cold. Why'd you let him do that to me? Visions all up in my head, feeling like I'm being abducted. Sitting on this life while I smoke this pipe and his hands between my legs. Violated, infuriated, don't know what to do. My mind is racing, whole body shaking, calling out for you. I'm horrified, I can't testify, better not show my face. Cause when I do, they're gonna come for you and take you out into space. The big, this looks so familiar to me. I wound up back on the street, through a black hole in a different zone. Advanced technology flying all around my head. Gotta hope and pray I'm not dead. But then just like that, my eyes went pitch black and I woke up in my bed. Downloaded information in my head. Everybody heard screams from upstairs. Like, where you been? What's happening? Are you okay? I'm terrified, I wanna testify. I better not show my face. Cause when I do, they're gonna come for you and take you out into space.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some fucking windows. Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking...
Never forget what you said.
Peace, family. I'm back. I am live. I am back on my YouTube channel. Big up to all those joining me tonight. As you heard, big up to CIA Rebel. That's whose song it was, Alienated. You need to check out our channel. That's the homegirl that's down with us from the Getty Up. You know I'm here. And you know I'm going to go in tonight. If I'm coming in at nighttime, what time is it? It's 10:01 Eastern. So family, sit on in. If you need snacks, it's a rant tonight on my channel live, which I haven't been for at least a month now. So we're about to get it in, about to blow some spots, and about to do some gloating right now. For many of you who don't know, my channel was infiltrated by an agent that decided to attach themselves, a young lady who's suffering from some sort of mental psychosis, who was stalking me, cyber stalking me, and decided to mess with Fleur Boon's channel and create lies stating that my material was her material. So with the help, big up to Ryan and all the other YouTubers who were quite helpful in redeeming my channel, actually restoring it to what it was, and also showing that this young lady is sick and a liar. Everything that she stated has been proven to be a lie. She is disgusting. She is sad, and I want to blow spots tonight. Big up to the crew, big up to the Cypher crew, big up to everybody east, west, north, and south. I'm here. Can't stop, won't stop. This is a testament. Tonight, this is a testament. When they come for you, when the agents come for you, they will lie, they will steal, they will try to rob your grandmother, but it will always end with them falling on their swords. So the same sword she's garnished and brought towards Fleur Boon, she's fallen on now. Big up to the attorneys who are going to take this C-Star for everything that she doesn't have. I'm live and my channel's back. And for all those who don't know what happened, obviously, you know, the rainbow energy. I'm so grateful to everybody who listened to the rainbow. Actually, this had to do with the rainbow energies. I think many of you know already. I was talking about the event when it first happened. I was in New York, the Bronx, New York. Big up to the Bronx, big up to the East Coast. I had the event that happened, and it actually revealed a lot of the dark entities that are coexisting here. These are archonic beings. These are sapophytes. These are beings that are parasitic and vampiric, including a whole bunch of low-field females. You know I go in on the males, but tonight I'm going to go in on the females, the parasitic, vampiric females that are part of the patriarchy that show up as low-field beings that are haters, that don't wish well for other females, and are trying to take down the sisterhood and try to placate like they're part of the sisterhood. So we going in tonight. Anyway, let me just say hello. Happy rainbows. My rainbow videos are back up because obviously the being was lying, trying to claim that my material was hers. Many of you know me for many years. Everything that I do is independently mine. So she connected herself to my videos. She tried to attack my YouTube channel, and big up to YouTube for proving that this being is a liar and actually making sure that everybody knew that she was. No, I don't. She needs no name, because the reason why she did it is because she wanted people to be attached to my channel to her. So she is nameless because she doesn't deserve to even get the credence or the credit to even for even attempting to do. Remember, I'm saying attempting because obviously I've been redeemed. My channel has been released from the Kraken, and all will be well in the rainbow energy. So we're going to get it in tonight. We're going to talk about the darker entities that are here that are female based. You know, normally I strictly, for the most part, I talk about the males, the parasitic males, the vampiric males that do placate and abuse women, but we're going to get in on the non-sea stars tonight. We're going to get on to the dark beings, the dark female sect, the representatives of the patriarchy that call themselves sisterhood, but they're really here causing diabolical, insidious infighting and actually causing coups amongst the sea stars. So these are the warning shots that came via the attacks that were coming towards not even just myself, but quite a few beings. So let me see who's on tonight. I know you join me tonight. You know when I come on at nighttime and I just came from swimming. It is hot here in Florida. It's humid here in Florida. So I came in from swimming. I was outside. I was like, they restored my channel. They showed that the being was lying and telling people that she was attached to all my information, which was crazy. And, you know, it's someone who's been stalking me for a while, who has an unnatural obsession with me, but we're going to blow her spot, and we're going to blow all the other dark beings that are female based tonight. So Vegas is in the house. What's up, Vegas? Big up to Vegas. Oh, as you heard Samuel Jackson. Let me replay that. You know, I don't curse on the show, but tonight I feel like I have to have a little bit of I have to have a little bit of other people expressing what is really going on, and this is a testament. This has his Samuel Jackson's exclamation here is basically what's going on tonight.
Everybody strap in. We're about to open some fucking windows.
Let me get that in again.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some fucking windows.
I'll open some windows tonight. Cali's in the house. What's good, California? What up, West Coast? San Francisco's in the house. What's good? Hey, Anna. Hey, Karina. What's good? Can't stop, won't stop. Seattle's in the house. What up, Cadillac? Big up to y'all, and Cadillac is in the house. Wyoming's in the house. What's good? Hey, New York representing. What up, Kay? What up, Oklahoma again? Germany is in the house. What up, Germany? San Francisco, Cali, hey, Laconia. Bay Area in the house. What's good? Georgia, Fort Lauderdale. What's representing? Hartford, Connecticut, Colorado. What's good? Indy. Memphis is in the house. Whoa, Philly's in the house. What's good? Hey, Doll Barbie. Canada's representing. Jersey's in the house. BX, what's good? North Kakalaki, North Carolina, Cleveland, Connecticut, Chicago. Oh, we going all coast tonight. Ohio, Bronx, New York is in the house. Another BX representing Toronto, Ontario. Illinois representing Cleveland, Charlotte, Louisiana, Texas, North Kakalaki. What's good? Calgary in the house. Belgium representing Omaha. Seattle's in the house. Queens, New York. LA, of course. West Coast is up because we're up late. New York representing Virginia Beach was good. Seattle was happening. San Diego again. Jacksonville, Florida. What up, Mount Vernon? Money earned in Mount Vernon. Pure beauty culture. What up? Money earned in Mount Vernon's in the house. Hamden, Connecticut is in the house. Mississippi representing. Dushund and we're going. Dushund, you're representing the Netherlands. What up, Fastulus Maximus? I always call you Maximus. Hey, Maximus. He's coming from the Cypher crew. Indiana's in the house. West Coast representing Sedona. Boston, Massachusetts. I didn't know you were Maximus. I didn't know you were in Boston. Tasmania's in the house. Yeah, we're going to go in. Connecticut's in the house. All right, family. So let's get on to the parasites that are in the pseudo healing community. There are beings here placating as healers, as pseudo healers, and as light workers, and they are highly diabolical. And I'm going to give you the telltale signs of recognizing these beings and making sure that you keep clear from them. Now, I will state that there was a being attached to my cipher that was absolutely disgusting. This being is anti-unity. This being suffers from low self-esteem and has issues with really being self-aware, and we're going to heal some of that tonight by blowing her spot and all the other parasites along with her. So anyway, the telltale signs that you were meeting up with people, and I make jokes about this, but this is really quite serious. A lot of times I make things that can seem a little uncomfortable, or obviously topics that most would shy away from, or maybe attack in a more aggressive, more negative way. Listen, everything is balance, and we need to talk about people that are very diabolical in pretending that they are something that they're not, and by upholding the representative of being some healing being, or being someone who's representing a light worker, those who want to lay hands on people that are really sick. Remember, if you have healers that attach to your auric field that are calling themselves healer, but are really suffering from some sort of personal psychoses, or not self-aware, or have some chaotic, energies in their own auric field, that can transfer to you. And that can be transferred to you and almost like a sexually transmitted demon, like STD. If you have, it's just like if I go, and why would you want to go to a healer, number one, if it's just like going to a hairdresser? If I'm going to a hairdresser and her hair is messy, would I want her to work on my hair? It's the same thing when you're going to healers and light workers who have messy lives behind the scenes, who are placating themselves as something that they are not at all in their core. And then you have them work on you, and then you are now infected with a viral kinetic being, which has a low field frequency that is now eating away at you and probably feeding off of you via this pseudo light working pseudo healer. Okay, so we're going to get in on that. So, as I've walked through this community, the pseudo conscious community, and, we talk about the light working community. The new age community, you're going to meet a lot of different beings, especially beings that just woke up, who are really finding themselves. Their abilities are coming online. It's beautiful. And I really support that, because I think as we move backwards, remember? Oh, big up to Wade 13. We're about to blow spots. Wade 13 has some intel. And if you, obviously, Cypher Crew, you already know, you down with the crew, you're going to get all the intel. We're trying to make the show for tomorrow night. If not, it's whenever Wade is available. He's got some intel on what's going on right now, like he blew spots before. So, you know, on Patreon and on Cypher, you guys are going to get it in on that intel. So big up to the crew. Wade 13's about blowing spots on the intel. He's got some really good intel, and it needs to be shared. So big up to Wade 13. But let's go in it on the pseudo healers that you may encounter as you are wonderfully waking up, as you are encountering new beings and you're excited. You see all these wonderful sea stars that look like they're illuminated, they look like they have it together, but there are telltale signs that is not the case. And we're about to blow spots on those signs so that you make sure you avoid what just happened to Flurboon. You avoid those who are actually parasites and vampiric beings calling themselves healers so that they can attach to you and feed off of you and basically take whatever energetic and whatever you have with you, take your gifts. Almost like the movie we just saw with, you know, the movie we just saw with, oh my gosh, Baby in the Brain. What was the movie we just saw with the rainbow energy? I just talked about it with Mr. Corey. Fantastic, what is it? Fantastic, no, was it, no. Oh gosh, Avengers. You know when I come at night, I'm not prepared. Avengers, Infinity Wars. Okay, Infinity Wars. Remember, this being wanted to covenant. This is a perfect segue. It just came in. I'm getting it downloaded, but I'm not channeling. Avengers, Infinity War. This being, he wanted to take everybody else's powers so that he could basically control everything and have a say and do whatever he wanted. So what he did is go to each being who had a particular gift or something that they were able to uphold. And he wanted to covenant that. So he would go and hijack each person based on what he desired, and it represented a color, a spectrum of color, a rainbow, which eventually made a rainbow color. And it's interesting that this has actually come when I actually had the rainbow event occur with me. I experienced it, and as soon as that happened, everything started to reveal itself. And it was interesting that every one of the videos that was actually taken down by a lie of this being attached to my videos had nothing to do with it. They were all a part of the rainbow. And remember, when I experienced the rainbow event, the last being that tried to come for me was a brown female. And I was walking backwards to go to my little ones. And it's all relative. As you see, it showed up in that event, but it actually showed up in real time. So, so this gentleman, I don't want to call him a gentleman, he was taking everybody's abilities. Now, excuse me, when you go and find yourself a healer, you really should ask the most important questions about them personally. Oh, sorry. Normally I have like a big bottle of water next to me when I'm doing a show, but this is last minute, so I don't need anything. I'm just going to talk. You know, normally when you go and seek out a healer, someone who can help you or assist you or guide you, you want to make sure that you ask questions personally about them. And like I say, if you're going to a hairdresser and someone's doing your hair, you wouldn't want to go to a hairdresser that has low, is not very hygienic, meaning that they don't clean up the towels around the sink. They're not cleaning the hair of the previous customers. You wouldn't want to go to a hairdresser that's not hygienic. You wouldn't want to go to a hairdresser that actually was very limited in her knowledge of doing hair. You wouldn't want to go to a hairdresser that actually lacked the ability to be kind or understanding or to listen to your wants and needs and whatever style you desired for your haircut or hair style. Okay, it's the same with a healer or a light worker that you're going to try to get some assistance for whatever you need. And a lot of times, it's not all the time that we can do things ourselves. Sometimes we do want to go to others to help us or assist us or guide us in the right direction. And I think that's absolutely practical. I think it's okay to do that, but you need to know who you're going to so that you don't get infected by or fed off of by one of these parasitic pseudo healers that is out here. So let's just state this. When you're going to find yourself a healer, you want to ask personal questions. You want to ask, if, first of all, you want to see their general disposition. Are they friendly? Are they appeasing? Are they empathetic? Are they kind in their words and their actions? Are they healers in their regular life? Are these beings that are usually in their own, maybe their job setting? Are they nurses? Are they practitioners in the arts of healing? Are they Reiki specialists? Are they cranial sacrals? Have they been? How long have they been doing light work or healing? What are the testimonies of those who've been healed? You want to also ask aspects of their personal life as far as if they are in relationships that are cohesive, meaning that if you're going to a light worker, they should have a cohesive relationship, or they should be in a singular, if they should be in a healthy union with themselves if they're not engaged with mating. If they don't have a particular mate, they should be healthy. Now, if you go to a healer or a light worker, and I'm blowing spots, so I'm not going to say names, but this is what a lot of our sea stars are encountering. You go to a light worker, and you go to them and you go and get help, but you realize later on that their mate is abusing them physically. You have a mate that's very violent, or he's threatening, or he's we found that there was one particular person who was calling themselves a light worker, who was actually engaged with a low field, what we would consider to be a reptilian personality, either a drug dealer, or he was some sort of a abusive male, and she would call him her king, and he was abusing her, hurting her, hitting her, headbutting her with guns. And this was somebody that people were seeking out for assistance. And meanwhile, in her own life, in her own arena, she was dealing with trauma from an abusive male. And I'm absolutely against that. Any male who's hurting another female should not even be, especially in your life, especially when you're trying to deal with healing self. How can you heal others if you are dealing with trauma from someone else who is abusing you? So when you go and ask for assistance, you want to make sure that the light worker, the quote unquote person who's healing you, is not laying with the enemy or sleeping with the enemy, allowing beings to abuse them, but at the same point, they want to go and help you. Also, their family dynamics should be a little healthy. It's not a judgment. Remember, you can heal people if you heal yourself. Many of us come from abuse. You already know I was with a Nazi. There ain't no shame in my game. I was with a Nazi. And when I came to a realization of coming to self-awareness and taking some ownership for my own poor choice in who I chose, then I was able to release the demon, the Kraken, release him back into the hellfires he came from. And then from that point, I was able to do a long-term healing for myself. And then that's pretty much when you guys started to see me more prevalent on YouTube. I can really say that I did some healing work. And when I showed up on YouTube, I absolutely showed up a little cleaner and better and healthier. And as time progressed, that was that energetic healing was showing up in aspects of what I was doing. Not only do I talk the talk, I'm a big volunteer for helping women who are abused by men. The women's shelters, I volunteer my time. I volunteer my time to the animal shelters. I also make sure I donate all clothes and food and any sort of necessities to those around me who require that. So I can never just talk about helping people. I have to just be it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to be about it. So in my personal life, if you go around anyone around me, the consensus of my overall disposition will be that which I am representing outwardly to the world. And I remember this demon, this sociopathic, low field, dramatical, um, vampiric parasitic female that was extradited from Florbrun's cipher based on her abusive behavior with others when she was basically kicked out for being abusive to others. Apparently she doesn't take rejection well. She made it a point to make rants and make up all kinds of venomous lies based on her own illusions and pretty much projecting an aspect of herself on others outside of herself. So, oh, Cypher is a group that we have. It's a Secret Scroll group online. Big up to the Cypher crew. There, a lot of them are up tonight. So we don't want to say that it's not possible for someone to come from pain and trauma, because as you see, that's usually a good ingredient to actually heal people later on, because you can't heal what you don't know and can't acknowledge. You can't heal from a placement of perfection or comfort. You usually are able to heal others based on the fact that you have gone through stuff, have transmuted some of that energy, have made it through the other side, and we're able to kind of recalibrate your frequency and allow that to let you illuminate and grow. So that, I think that's a beautiful quality, and I think it's the number one ingredient of being a healer is having to go through things in order to do that later. But I think there's a really big issue with those who are acting and acting a certain way, but absolutely have no true and good intent for anyone else. But they will perpetuate this consistent lie, basically this facade of being something when actually they're the opposition of that. And they attack anyone who actually illuminates that frequency, because they don't need a real person illuminating that, showing that them, because it'll show that they're a charlatan. So obviously, when you look at someone who's actually displaying something that you want to be and that you're really not, and you're actually lying, you got to make sure you attack them. This is, a sociopath's position. You have to make sure you attack them and snuff that energy, because then if people see that that's a real energy, then they will know that you're basically, you're basically pulling the wool over people's eyes. So, okay, so quality is making sure that the person that you're going to is astute in their own relationships. If they are living a chaotic relationship, having abuse done to them at home, and they are in consistent trauma, that's a problem of going to a light worker, because obviously they have archonic energy on them. They're also suffering from some sort of Stockholm syndrome, and this is not a judgment, because as we know, many times when you abuse, it's very prevalent. Also, they do have, demonic type of entities on their auric field based on the low frequency. And when they're working on you or doing readings for you, or if they're attempting to give you advice, remember, they can infect your frequency based on the fact that they're not coming with healthy frequency. They're basically giving you a dirty plate. So they're serving you food and you think it's nutrition, but they didn't clean plates. So they basically just took a dirty plate out of the sink that was not washed and are serving you what you consider to be a nutritional meal on a dirty, unhygienic plate. And I don't think you would want to have something like that if you did your due diligence and utilize your discernment to be able to make sure that the person who is healing you is already healed, and they are self-aware, and they are already in a healthy, astute position, not perfect, an astute position to make sure they are able to assist you without giving you something that you didn't even know existed in their own personality, their own frequency. Okay. Another thing that we need to look about is family dynamics. A lot of times, if you're going to a healer and if you have the luxury of seeing their family dynamics, I talk about bloodlines and I talk about children and offspring. Fruit never fall very far from the tree. So if you have the luxury of meeting a healer and being in their now, we're not talking about healers online, because a lot of times you may not be able to see, because they'll only be showing propaganda of a perfected life that does not exist. Because online, it's easy to make people look a certain way or to act a certain way. But the issue is, you have to make sure that if they are healers, that their fruit is not rotten. So if they are coming from a healthy tree and they are absolutely, a little more holistic, balanced in the way that they see things, because you want someone who's empathetic and you want someone who has the ability to be non-judgmental and be able to assist you in ways that are totally appropriate to you, without bringing in any of their own ideologies or their own opinions or judgments. Okay, so what's interesting about that is if you go to a healer and you have, like I said, you have the luxury of seeing their offspring, especially if the offspring are older, and you see that anything that comes from these pseudo, quote unquote, healers is sick. Children that are either heavily on drugs, they're abusers themselves, they have a low field of frequency and a lack of self-awareness, lack of self-restraint, they're cursing people out, they're robbing people, or they're going to jail. That is a testament that there's something going on with the tree. So you also have to be careful to go to healers whose children, whose offspring show a healthy version of the parent tree. That's just what it is. It's not a judgment, but you have to, I have clothes on. I have a bathing. Listen, family, I'm in Florida. I live in a tropical area. It is hot and humid. I swim and I come to you. I don't put on makeup. I didn't comb my hair. I keep it 1,000. So if you could tolerate me, I'm not showing too much of the boobs tonight. So if you could tolerate me, I'm a woman, and I'm not trying to be perverted, but I'm not trying to expose myself either. So hopefully we're grown folk in here, and I'm sure you've seen enough women in their natural form, hopefully, so that this is not something that distracts you or keeps you in a frequency that's not healthy. If it doesn't, if you don't like what you see, you could easily change the channel. I'm not in Brazil yet. If I was in Brazil, you could question if I had clothing or not, because that might be a little more optional. Okay, so let's go back to the subject. Anyway, so let's get into that. So, watch when you go to someone and ask questions, because if you're having someone doing energetic work on you, you have every right to inquire about their own personal lives, or to be able to see and discern that if there's aspects of deceiving, someone who is placating themselves. You can generally see if they're actually on YouTube or they're talking or doing live videos, you can see someone's general disposition. Are they always beefing? Are they always negative? Do they always have a frown? Are they always mad at everyone? Are they always talking about people? Are they always in one room? Like, do they ever leave their room? Do they just sit around in one space in one room? Why don't we see the rest of their home? Why don't we see them moving? Why don't we see them in other places? Why aren't we seeing all that? Because they're not showing you aspects. Maybe their house is really dirty. Maybe they're not really clean. Maybe they have unhealthy people living in the house with them. Maybe they're actually locked up in a prison and you don't know it, and they're actually doing this from, inside of a block cell. You don't know this. If you don't see any movement and you don't see them doing something, shakers and movers, why would you let them work on your energy and move your energies around and actually try to recalibrate your energies when they're stoic, when they're petrified, when they're in non-movement? So why would you go to a healer who is not healed in themselves and sits in a very stationary position to only show one aspect of themselves? Also, if you go to a healer, you should know their real name. You should know where they come from. If you don't know their name and you only know a name, a magical name, a made up name, an artificial AI name, then there is a concern. You see my home all the time. You guys see me doing everything. You see me in the car, you see me outside. I keep it 1,000. One thing with me is that, as much as I disclose, and this is one thing my mate probably has the most issues with, is that I keep zero. Listen, I have soccer moms on here from my children's school. So I'm pretty out there. I hide zero. You know what I mean? I keep everything 1,000. So with me, whatever you get, I don't have makeup on. I have bags underneath my eyes. Sometimes I come sleepless in Orlando. Sometimes I come zhuzhed up with red lipstick. You come and see me in all aspects. And I'm not a healer. Remember, I'm not a healer. And you're seeing all aspects of me. And many of you who are on my page on Facebook, big up to my friends on Facebook, you see my children and you see what I do daily with them. So if I was really a charlatan and I was faking the funk, you would not see all aspects of my life because I would be hiding. I would be hiding behind a fictitious name, some random name that I made up. I would never share any aspects of my life. I would keep all aspects of my life to myself. I would never tell you anything about anything personal about me because I would be always trying to keep that secret because I'm probably doing some diabolical things. Be mindful of people who are calling themselves healers that actually are charging money, an extra amount of money, and there is no true result from anyone else. Like I said, testimonies. If someone's truly a healer, now you'll see this all the time, like Allison Coe. Big up to Allison Coe. I actually appreciate Allison Coe. I don't think she gets. I think some people attacked her originally for making talking about the rainbow, but I think she shows herself and she actually shares testimonies and sessions that she's gotten permission to do. It says something about her. It says something that she's authentic. It says something, and the people who deal with Allison Coe, and there's another QHHT, I forgot what her name. She's in Orlando. She's a whiner. I forgot, Maria Weiner. I think her last name's Weiner. She's another great QHHT practitioner who has tons of testimonies. People have said how wonderful she's healed them. She's addressed aspects of their lives that weren't dealt with well. So it's a testament to their work actually doing and showing up in a positive way. If you have these pseudo-conscious, pseudo-healers, they call themselves illuminated ones, and there's no testimonies to go along with the cost. So if they're charging $125 or they're charging $200 and you've not heard anyone say that they had a great session with them, that they really healed them, then it's a testament that they're probably working on some schemes and some scams to try to as they're using the pseudo-conscious community and the light working community for come-ups. So they're utilizing that to come up, and they really have absolutely no credence or credibility in that arena. I see you're naming. Shame on them. They shouldn't be charged. Well, no, energy has to be exchanged. Remember, everything is frequency. There has to be a balanced frequency. You have a right. If your time is energy and it has a frequency, then you can ask for exchange. You can accept exchange, but it has to be fair and balanced. So if your time means something and you feel like frequency of your time can be exchanged in the frequency of fiat, then that's a fair exchange. But it has to be relative. It also has to be proven, and it has to be coming from an integrity-based position. So if you're going to someone who says they're a healer, there has to be a fair exchange. Okay. And again, testimonies of what they healed. You have these people calling themselves divine this, divine that. How do you know they're divine? Again, if you don't see them walking in the world, if you don't hear about them, you can go to any place. And I'm not a healer. Now, mind you, I'm not a healer, but you can go to any place in New York, Westchester County, Mount Vernon, New York. Where else? Pennsylvania. Where else have I done it? Hawaii. You've asked anyone with my real name, they will tell you what I do. They will tell you, oh, she comes here, she brings dogs food sometimes. Oh, she always gives her girls clothes away. Or she'll always come here and help out if we need help. This is something that you can prove. If they're really about that life, it's not hard. Healers show up healing in other ways. Healers don't just show up on YouTube or on Facebook saying they're a healer. They usually show up in their life, and you can usually get some credit. They have some credit behind them saying, oh yeah, I remember she used to help out with her mother in school, or she's this type of person. She's always trying to, rescue animals. You will see healers show up. Healers don't just show up online charging you egregious amount of money, or going to these these exasperated conferences where they're doing healing work or what have you. They've always showed up in the world as healers from the youth. So you usually they have some credit behind them. So it's not just showing up in the world. So please be mindful to really be utilize your self-awareness and your interpret what you see, what you hear, and what you see, and know that what you hear is not always what is. People who do the most parasiting and vampiric and are very abusive tend to have good gift of gab. The devil is able to make everyone think that they're God. Okay, so make sure that you're aware that just because someone talks it, if you don't see it and it doesn't show up, that's not really what they are. And like I said, you should see movement, you should see credibility in their family dynamics, their relationships should be astute. They don't have to be perfect. Astute means they're not going home getting their behinds beat every day and then coming online saying, oh, I'm a light worker. Oh, I'm gonna put my hands on you. I'm gonna give you advice about your relationships when I can't even get my relationship right. What kind of sense does that make? So I'm blowing spots tonight because we have a lot of parasitic females that are vampiric, that are pseudo. They do absolutely nothing but talk the talk and they're not walking the walk. They sit here and when they see another woman, and it's sad because this is the problem with the sisterhood. As the sisterhood comes online, there's a lot of these low-field females that are haters. I didn't realize how many, but they can't tolerate and be happy for other sea stars that are being looked up well in the world, that are showing up healthy in the world, that are trying to actually help the planet, that are actually attempting to bring sea stars together rather than creating more diversity and creating disunion amongst the sisterhood. They actually are actually causing more coups than they are causing unification. At this point, any of these low-field, parasitic, sociopathic, narcissistic, lack of self-aware females that you come in contact with, walk away with caution. Because obviously, they may not show who they are initially, but if you let them attach to you, and like I did, and then you disattach from them, they might get vile. They might even get violent. And they will attempt to do everything to try to keep a feeding off of you or attaching to you, or just try to destroy your credibility because they have no credibility themselves. So this is shots fired. You come for me. Make sure you have some credibility. Make sure that your real name is showing up. Make sure that we know who you are. Let's see your family dynamics. Come to my side of town. Everybody's joining me for the conference. Big up to those joining me for the conference, Flirtboon Conference, Experience Conference, and July 14th. Many are coming. Why don't you come? If I'm not walking, if I'm not talking the talk, you'll see me walk the walk. Anybody can see me in my neck of the woods. Why don't I do a conference in another town where nobody knows me? Why would I do a conference somewhere where everyone knows me? Because I'm about that life. So when you come for Flirtboon, make sure you're clean and clear and make sure you're not dirty because your dirty dishes are being exposed. And perhaps you should clean your own house and do some self-work and some self-healing and actually take accountability for your own behavior, because obviously if you're not accountable for you, you can't talk about people being accountable for them. Let's keep it real. So please, for those who are going to these pseudo, just be mindful, family. The parasitic female is part of the patriarchy. She's part of the sickness of the old regime. She is showing up in a very competitive way. She is here to only cause more confusion, and she will lie, steal, and try to attach to anything that she thinks is light so that she can try to feed off of it for herself because she lacks self-esteem. So we have to really be it's Candida. Canada's in the house. I said it's Candida. I basically said these females are like Candida. They're a type of cancer. They're a type of fungus that is really difficult to get off of you. So I'm just teaching you. I'm not even teaching you. I'm expressing and sharing with you, because I'm not a teacher. I'm actually an avid student. I'm sharing with you some of those things so that you don't catch a fungus or Candida and have a really difficult time trying to get it off you. Because I realize now, in my lack of discernment of trying to be in the love and light community and trying to field in unity consciousness, there were some bad apples, and they were literally causing, when bad apples go bad and there's that fungus that grows on them, it was literally feeding, and the fungus, the spores were spreading. And that was my fault, because I thought that even if someone was dark, that being in the union of other females, other wonderful divine females, would allow for them to heal and be able to join into the sisterhood. But that's not true, because one bad apple What did they tell you your grandmother told you? What did your mother tell you? Spoils the bunch. So I'm sharing with you some ways to discern. You have a right, if you are paying someone, if you're exchanging fiat of money or a fee, exchange of fiat of energy, then you have a right to inquire about anything about anyone's life, especially when you're having people know your personal business, because a healer has to know your pains. They have to. Why would you go to a healer that goes around and gets your business and then tells it to her girlfriends and talks nasty about you? This is the type of healers that I'm talking about. They will get your personal information and then they'll share it with people and put it on their personal Facebook, and they'll start exposing all kinds of things however they want. That's not a healer. That's a devil. That's somebody who's very demonic who does that. Why would you want to go to a healer that has no sort of balance and no sort of moralistic or ethical compass to be able to heal someone without going into their personal business and then fielding that out? Messy. Yes, it's very messy. It's very diabolical too. That's not a healer. Someone who does that is not a healer. That's someone, and I used to tell, I told my little ones, because, every once in a while I help to instruct, but I tell the young ladies, I say, listen, if you see any young lady talking about her girlfriend or talking about somebody she used to be friends with or talking about someone that she's still friends with and talking negatively about them or her own family, you need to be mindful, because if she's doing that to them, she will darn skippy do it to you. And it shows her general disposition that she has no set of accountability. She has no loyalty. That's a lack of loyalty. And that's somebody that you need to keep at bay from, and you need to keep them you need to keep a strong arm and remember who that person is, because it doesn't matter if it's years later. Generally, you got past behavior is a good indication of future behavior. And by having beings around you who do diabolical things and say negative things about other sea stars that have done nothing to them and are unaware that they're doing that, that's a testament of their low self-esteem, their low consciousness, and actually their lack of integrity. And that's somebody that you don't want energy work done on you, and that's someone you should avoid. And I think a lot of people right now are seeing that in these pseudo females that are calling themselves healers. So all these healers who are telling you they're going to take all your chakras out for $450 or $700, I will tell you that is a form of what is that called? When they what is it called when you do that? That's extortion. That's a form of extortion. How do you prove that your chakras are gone? How does someone take all your chakras out of you? Because that's a new thing that they're scamming with. They'll tell you that they're taking your chakras, they're removing all your chakras, your energy chakras. How can they prove it? They're going to take a picture of your chakras gone? How are you going to prove that your chakras are gone for $700? And if you do, can you take them to court saying that they didn't do what they were supposed to do? So where's the recourse for someone who's done that? So where's the accountability if you prove that they didn't remove what you shouldn't have removed in the first place, but that's a judgment? So how do you prove that? So with all these energetic workers, please make sure that you utilize your spiritual discernment. And if it talks the talk, make sure it walks the walk. Ask the questions. And you have a right. Don't you dare feel badly about asking someone questions who's going to change your chakras, who's going to realign your energetic field, who's going to give you advice on your relationship with your husband, your brother, your sister, your mother. They're giving you personal advice on your personal information. You have every right to inquire about their personal lives. Are you in a healthy relationship? Are you presently, and you may not even have to ask, because maybe they're showing it. And also you have a right to find out who they really are. So I wanted to, make this video tonight to blow the spot on the pseudo healers and pseudo light workers who are out here scamming and master planning on other people and hating on truly the divine. Because truly divine beings don't have to go and abuse others without invocation. Usually when someone comes and shots are fired at someone who has done nothing to them, that's an indication that they have mental issues. Most likely they're a sociopath, and I'm letting you know that if they can do it to someone like myself, they can do it to any one of you. So I suggest that you keep it moving. Can't stop, won't stop, because as you see, I've been vindicated. And obviously, if I'm on here live, whatever this person who attempted to attach themselves and say some lies, illegal lies about my channel and try to come for Fleur Brune's channel, the fact that I'm up here, that is proof. YouTube found it was proof that they were lying. So now they have to go and make up more lies as to why I'm back on. We should laugh. This is what, listen, can't stop, won't stop. When you come for the divine, make sure you got credit. You don't have credit, you have nothing. All you do is when you come for someone who doesn't harm you, who doesn't invoke, who's not doing anything to you, who's not struck at you, who's not talked about you, it is a testament to your low self-esteem. And it's a testament that you have a problem with people who show up in the world beautifully because you're really ugly on the inside and out. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. And hateration is only showing that you have issues with, maybe you need to heal yourself. So for all those pseudo healers, all those pseudo light workers who are sitting here, and for a couple of those, because these pseudo women, they like to come together because birds of a feather flock together. That's also another indication. Whenever somebody says they're a light worker and all they have is drug dealers around them, people that can't speak a regular sentence without saying M and F'ing, they're negative all the time. Watch who follows those people. If you see a whole bunch of lost souls in that people's repertoire, that's also a sign that they have no light working in them, because everything around them, if they're light workers, should be illuminated, including their home space, their mates, their children, their trees, their consciousness, their yoni. Everything should show up. Not perfect. Listen what I said. I said healthy and balanced, not perfect. Nobody's perfect here in the Matrix. So we're not saying that somebody has to be kumbaya. I'm not saying that they don't have to be yoga Tom doing yoga every day, all day. That's not true. You can show up balanced without being perfect, but you shouldn't say you're a light worker and you're a healer if you're battling with your mate every night in your house. You shouldn't say you're a healer if your children are suffering from psychoses because they've been abused or neglected by you or your husband. You shouldn't call yourself a healer if you're still suffering from mental instability because you don't feel good about yourself and where you are in the world. So obviously, make sure you watch who you engage with. We're at a new point in our consciousness. This is something that we have to do. How's everybody doing tonight? So like I said, sea stars, support other sea stars. Be mindful of who you engage with and utilize your personal discernment to be able to utilize your personal discernment to be able to know who to engage with and who not to. And it's not saying that you should judge anyone who's undergoing these things. I had shots fired, so I'm coming, you come for me, I come for you. It's basically a ricochet. I'm good. Obviously, you see I'm live. It's all good in the hood. So I just, whatever somebody brings to me, I just ricochet them back to them. Because especially if I don't, I haven't started anything, but don't start, no won't be not. This is a show, 2018, right? Maximus? That's right. Can't let someone, I'm saying don't let people bring their crazy. That's right. Don't let people bring their crazy into your world, okay? People, there's a lot of beings here that they're not encased with souls. They're soulless beings. Yes, they are. And they lack personal integrity. And their goal is to try to attach for others who are more illuminated so they can feed off of that. And if they can't do that, then they want to snuff it. Okay, it's one or the other. They either want to attach to the light or they want to snuff the light if they can't have it for themselves. And that's a form of, that's a form of psychosis. And it's sociologically off as well. So just why is it easier for me to help others? It's beautiful to help others, and it should come from a natural place. Not everybody's a healer. Listen, I'm not a healer. I'm not a healer. I'm not going to lay my hands on you and heal you. I'm a muse. That's what I do well. I muse people. I take aspects that I see in other people and I muse them. I'm great at doing that. That's something that I do well. I'm not a healer though, and I'm not a light worker, and I'm not perfect, and I'm not a teacher. I'm just an avid student who shares, and I share my experiences. And I'm, like I said, I'm here for the experience, and I'm grateful for being here at this time in this date. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Look, everyone's joining me tonight. Everybody's up tonight. So I'm live again, family. For all the times you missed me live, I will be live, and I'm sure this pisses them off. So mind you, the 7 or 8 people who they're still subscribed to me, they hate me. You can hate me now. But I won't stop now. It bothers them. Just my smile pisses them off. I'm sure they'll be doing all kinds of invocations and spells on me. This is another sickness that these low-field females do. Whenever they see someone who's happy and has children, who feels good about themselves, they try to do spells on them and hex them. Isn't that sad? That's really tragic. But what they don't realize is every time they do that, anytime they harm someone who has done nothing to them, it comes right back to them tenfold. So it will only cause more havoc in their life. So they can do what they want to do, but there's going to be a ricochet. And it won't be from me. It'll be from the universe and the Andromedans. So can't stop, won't stop. Don't let these low-field, diabolical, tragic, non-conscious females hurt you, sea stars. Don't let them snuff out your light. Let them say what they want to say. If it's not true, it'll show not true. Remember, lies always are revealed. I'm live tonight because the liar who came from my channel was lying to try to take it down. And obviously, big up to YouTube, Brian on YouTube. I love it. He helped me out, and he showed that the person was a liar and they were placating themselves as something they weren't. And now her spot is all blown. So even her home people will be, because they're all just subscribed to me. Big up to those subscribed to me that are part of that diabolical sociopath. You're subscribed to her, but she's a liar. And if she came for me, she's probably lying about you too. Why don't you tell her to leave her bedroom and maybe go for a walk around the trees? Why don't you tell her to go donate her time and help children? Why don't you go tell your friend who you're subscribed to, because you watch me, obviously, because you feel I'm illuminated, even though you try to hate on me. Why don't you tell your friend to go to a women's shelter or try to help one of the low-field beings that now she's aligned with that has her husband hurting her and beating her with the butt of a gun? Why don't you go tell your sea star to go get some help and help her out? Why don't she heal the one who's attached to her right now? Why don't they heal all the sea stars that are sad and upset about themselves that they have to attack other females? Why don't you help them out? Can't stop. Well, listen. Blowing spot. Listen, you come from me, it is what it is. You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. See, this is the problem we have when we're trying to unite. We need to be united in front. I forgive everything as long as you are accountable for your own behavior. If you don't have self-awareness, I can't help you. That's all. Keep it real. Let's see everybody show their real faces. Why don't we put our real names out there? You can hate me now. I'm a little antagonistic. I can do that as a Sag. When a Sag is in winning mode, I'm a winner. I'm grateful for it. I love my sea stars, and I represent for my sea stars. I bat for my sea stars. I bat for my sun stars, and I love unity consciousness. So what? No, the person we don't, the beings that are acting in such a negative way don't deserve a name. They are anonymous because they were 0 before they had tried to attach to me, and they are now lower than 0 now that they've tried to do some negative things against a person who never did anything to them. So right now, we never need to give credit to where someone doesn't get credit, especially if they're parasiting off of someone else. Burn the bridges down. That's what I say, burn the bridges down. I don't have to burn the bridges down because I'm armed and ready. When you come and do some negative things and you harming other people, I'm prepared. Remember, I'm about this life. That's why I'm smiling right now. So, and for those who come into the conference, big ups to those who are coming to the conference. Anyway, I'll talk about the conference tomorrow. I know everyone's upset that I'm not bringing up the conference more. I'm just not that type of person. But tomorrow I'll go live again because I love to antagonize the haters. And every time you put a dislike on here, I know the 7 and 8 people who do it. You still subscribe to me. I don't understand. If you have such hate for me, why watch me? If I'm so diabolical, if I'm a parasite, if I'm some sort of succubus, why do you watch me? You can't. CIA Rebel is the bomb.com. Where's CIA Rebel? I played her song. If you want to listen to that song, CIA Rebel, that song's the bomb.com. She made that a while ago, and just check her out on YouTube. And check her out on Instagram. Really wonderful young lady. There she goes. CIA Rebel, what's good? I was playing your song, mama. I'm gonna play it again. CIA Rebel, just for you. I'm gonna play the song and rock it out for you. I'm in that mood tonight. You want me to play Virgo Heart? I'm gonna play another one of her songs, y'all. I'm in that mood tonight. Here, Virgo. Let's play Virgo Heart. I like that song. Let's get it in. Where's my other? Listen, I have a new account. Where's my thing? Where is it? I'm gonna just play it here. Hold on. I love that song. I love that Virgo Heart. I've never really made it. I've never had a Virgo in my life. Any Virgos out? Who are all the Virgos out here? Y'all are very sensitive though. I'm getting the song. See, I came for a swim and I came shots fired. Fire in the yard. Let's play Virgo Heart. Come on, I'm gonna play Virgo Heart. Come on, CIA Rebel, let's go on. This is a real sea star. She's got integrity, she's got loyalty. It's something that not many have. Come on, Virgos, look at the Virgos. Oh, Virgos in the house. This is by CIA Rebel. Oh, the Virgos are coming out of the closet.
It's like I'm looking through a telescope, trying to find a new place to go. Need to leave me immediately. Time for some new scenery. I can't seem to shake it. I don't want to stay. I know it's time for me to find my way. Maybe another galaxy. So stop talking, get the walking, 'cause I would like to know if you like to go and we can meet.
I support real sea stars. That is a beautiful young lady. She has a wonderful son. We support sea stars. She deserves the support. Go to CIA. We support her. We support Lachey, who has a beautiful book for children. These are mothers. I support the mothers. I support the divine female. Don't get it twisted. This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to let our sea stars shine. When we see a sun, I see it and I tell everybody that it's shining. This is what we're supposed to do in sisterhood. The problem is you have these low-field, diabolical, patriarchally females looking like they're females, but they're really low, negative, hating males that are mad that their lives are what they are and they can't be happy for anyone else. This is a beautiful young lady. Support her. Support Lachey, who wrote a beautiful astrological book for little children, and she will be at the conference. Support the ones who are really showing up in the world. They don't talk about it. She sang about it. CAA sang about it, and Lachey was about it. So please, if you're going to pick people to represent with, to be a part of, make sure that they are not just speaking the words, that they are showing up in the world in the way that they're actually supposed to. All right, family, I'm out. I'm fire in the yard. I'm good. I'm gonna be live every day practically, just for the point. You came for me, you lost, you're a liar, you're diabolical. Get some help, heal yourself, and heal those tragic, undivine females that are down with you. Peace.